Hello, hello, hello. I am super excited to hop on today. There have been some things that have been sticking out and pressing in my mind that it just feels like it's time to jump in and to start sharing a little bit more. So, the title of this live is Connecting into Your Spiritual Gifts and Your Spiritual Gifts Coming Online. I have had many conversations in the past week, really, about people's spiritual gifts coming online or more of their intuition, like they might start feeling different things or having a heightened sense of emotion. Maybe that's more anxiety. Maybe you're feeling things a lot more, or you're having all these promptings or intuition just dropping into your space. And this is part of the call of our ancestors right now. There is so much going on in the cosmos, in the ethereal realm around us, that we are being called to this new initiation, to this new uprising of trusting our center, of living a more heart-centered space, a more heart-centered life. And part of that, as we do so, it brings us remembrance of who we truly are and the power that we have and why we're in this physical realm. So I wanted to start out first by sharing a little bit of some exciting things. I've been working on my own oracle deck, and it's been doing messages for the past 7 years now. And this is going to be a deck. There's 50 cards, and it's a lot of the, 50 of the most potent lessons that have come forward in the past 7 years. So it's pretty dang exciting. This is a little sneak peek of what they look like. Oh, anyways, I'm going to read you this one today about Journey of Remembrance. I was trying to decide what to read or what to share, and I just was like, I should just share an oracle deck. This is just coming out. I'm still working on it, in the process of getting it all printed and everything like that. But the card is the Journey of Remembrance. So let me just read this first. We are a spirit being full of infinite divine light. Before coming to this meat suit of a human, having a connection to spirit is who we innately are. When we drop down into this world, we forget the divine light. We forget that divine light is who and what we infinitely are sourced from. We have been taught to keep sacred experiences to ourselves. Within our DNA, many who came before us were killed or persecuted for sharing spiritual experiences. And any form of spiritual awareness is weird, misunderstood, or even mentally unstable. This just shows how disconnected we have become in this human experience. Our journey is to remember who we are and why we are here. There is not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to navigating through spirituality. There is no secret recipe for staying connected to the heart center. We all come here to forget and remember, surrender and release old patterns of how things should be. In this deep, soulful search for purpose, many are being called back to the roots of where they came from, the realm of the spirits. Everyone has spiritual abilities. The spiritual communication is nothing more than an expression of being connected to source of energy. So, having that been said, I'll show you that one more time as a little sneak peek of the deck coming out shortly. So along with that, there has been this uprising of people feeling more intuitive or connecting into that space. And for one, I want to say you're not crazy, and these experiences are happening for a reason. And it's time to trust yourself. So that's two, is this is an invitation to dive deeper into trusting your spiritual intuition. Now, this intuition can be affecting you in every aspect of life. You might, and it doesn't have to be directly connected to spirituality, but maybe there's promptings that you're receiving about things going on. Maybe there's something that you know your body needs. And this is the time to act upon those promptings. We have so many things that are popping up, and maybe you have certain ideas or certain things that you want to do that keep popping up in your space, and then maybe you push it away, or you're like, oh, I have other things to do, I'm not going to worry about that. Well, this is an invitation from the ancestral realm to start stepping into those things that we feel called to do, because as we do so, we will gain a deeper trust to our own innate abilities as well as to rely upon spirit. And it's almost like, the spirit is not going to talk to us and give us a huge prompting if we aren't learning to listen and acting upon those things. I was always taught it's important to listen to the promptings of the spirit, and if you feel guided to do something, it's time to take action, even if it's something little. Because if you have a track record of trusting your promptings and trusting that spirit or your ancestors are going to be there to guide you, you're going to have a greater sense of purpose, a stronger sense of stepping in, more courage to step in, and because of that, it's going to actually give you more promptings, and they can become stronger and stronger as you are consistently practicing and trusting yourself and trusting spirit. It's a practice. It's something that sometimes we take energy to do. So along with that, this is a reminder to slow down. If you are feeling your gifts coming online and there's a lot showing up for you, it's time to slow down a little. In the world, we're taught to go, get all the things done and make everything happen. When we're stepping in, or when our gifts are coming online, it can be energetically exhausting. And sometimes we may need to take a break. Or maybe this is an invitation to go outside, go for a hike, go for a walk, go to the lake. Go do something that helps you pull away from the regular life. And that also means detaching from social media and maybe bringing a journal. Or maybe it's putting your phone on airplane mode if you want to record a video or an audio of things that are coming in. The more that we can be intentional about the time that we spend connecting to our ancestors, we are going to have a deeper connection. It's like relationships, right? Is the stronger we want a relationship to be, the more effort that we can put into it. And then once we have that connection, that doesn't have to be such an effort. You don't have to feel uncomfortable having conversations. You can freely be yourself. And that's part of what our gifts coming online is also gaining a relationship with trusting, a relationship with our own gifts. And so it's it's an evolution, it's a process, and it's supposed to be that way as we welcome and celebrate growth. That's part of this whole thing. I have little notes that when I was getting ready for my session today, these just popped in to talk about. So along with that, I'm going to, in the comments, add a video that talks about automatic writing. A really beautiful tool is when you go outside or when you take time to be still. Maybe it's in the bath, or maybe it's just out in your backyard. Maybe you just go in a closet and lock yourself away in the quiet for a little while. There is a video all about automatic writing, and automatic writing is simply the aspect of almost like shutting down, or like honing out the world so you can hone into what your heart and your spirit wants to share with you. Now, when you automatic write, you have a journal and a paper or a pen, and you just maybe start by a question, and then you just give yourself permission to write whatever it is that's coming in. This is such a powerful way for us to connect in, to receive answers, to trust our promptings, to trust our intuition, to allow those things to really cultivate and step into our space. So I do have that as a resource that I'll connect into the comments. I'm also very excited to share that the new season of the Modern Sages podcast is coming out. I have a little brief overview talking about what this season is going to all be about, and we're going to be honing in and connecting to our ancestral roots as well as our ancient ancestors, and exploring practices and ceremonies that they did that we can also do to remember who we are. Just like that card that I had read, is our soul's journey is a journey of remembrance. We are here to remember that we're more than just this physical world. Yes, we have things that we're experiencing, but they don't define who we innately and infinitely are. And so this is just a beautiful reminder, and this whole series, the podcast, is going to be all about that. And with how much that these gifts are coming online, there's so many different ways to activate them and to open them up. And so automatic writing, like I said, is just one tool that can be used in the process. The other thing is that in the month of September, I'm going to be hosting a month of spirit to start the spooky season out right. We're going to be honing in and talking about debunking the taboos about spiritual gifts, because a lot of times we think, oh, it's bad, it's wrong, we can't do it, we can't experience it, there's so much of that. And we're going to be debunking that, as well as helping other people step into that space. For that, do you have any other ideas on how to unlock them? Yes, yes, yes. Brenda, I don't know if you've tried automatic writing, but that is definitely one. And yeah, it's gaining the aspect of trusting yourself, really. Like, that's the first key is, we're taught, and that's what we'll be exploring in the month of spirit, is so often we're taught to look outside of ourselves for other people's approval, other people's guidance, their intuition. But really, we need to first start with the core of trusting ourselves. I haven't done that for a bit, automatic writing. Yeah, give that a try again. If you feel prompted to, that's a great one. But it's all about stepping back into trusting our ability. And the more that we can trust, and honestly, I would even say it's like saying a prayer and asking your guides, please help me to know, or to help me receive any messages, or please help me to know what step I can take to activate more of this gift showing up. And then from that aspect, all of a sudden it's like, when we can have those little tiny things, that's how we can really start stepping in and have more of a profound experience. And in the month of September, we're going to be doing some activations to bring those online as well, to pop into that space so we can learn to trust ourselves. And so, Brenda, even maybe it's connecting in and just seeing, like, okay, just thinking and pondering, like, when have I had positive experiences trusting and having my gifts come online? And then also maybe having that same aspect of, and where have I discounted myself? And give yourself permission to journal about that and write about it and see what comes forward. Because in doing so, it gives us a greater respect for where we're at, but it also gives us permission to dive deeper and to trust those things even just a little bit more. And like I said, it's almost just following like little at a time. And a lot of times we think, oh, it has to be these big, giant experiences for me to know that I'm guided or that I'm trusted. And the majority of the time, it's everyday experiences that happen all of the time that we discount that. We forget about it. We don't even think about it as something special because it's just natural. And that's something to think about too, is we have these gifts, we have these connections. And, I just had a session today and we were talking about seeing things. And she was talking about how her daughter can feel when people are around. And I said, yeah, when she feels things, you can imagine everything that she's saying, right? And she's like, yes. And that's a gift. That's connecting into the spirit realm. Is so often, I'm such a visual person, but when I'm having sessions with people, I'm literally, it's in my imagination, you could call it, but when I share what I'm seeing, there's always direct validation. And so it's learning to trust those little tiny things. And that can also come with even listening to audiobooks and giving yourself permission to play in the realm of imagination, where you're having these images play out in your mind. And as you strengthen that muscle, and then you shift it into trusting more of that spiritual ability, you can have greater connection and you can trust yourself even just a little bit more because you've been strengthening that muscle, you could say. So that's just something to also think about, is it's just those little things, but it's also those little things make the big differences. And we overcomplicate it so much. So it's just welcoming it in, taking time to slow down. You're not crazy, and it's good to center yourself and to see what's coming in. Detach from the phone, detach from the screens, detach from the chaos for a little while so that you can receive those connections and you can receive those promptings because we all need them. It's all part of who we are and their innate ability to come forward. I keep feeling like also to read this card from the deck that is coming out too. Disconnect to reconnect. So this is what it looks like. So beautiful, huh? I love them. Okay, so let me find that one. It's at the bottom. Okay, so let me read this portion of this message as well. Disconnect to reconnect. At times we must disconnect to reconnect. Everything around us is set up for us to stay disconnected, living life in pilot mode, numbing us from the natural flow of creation of the heart. How many times do we hide behind our phones? What are we giving up as we endlessly binge shows or scroll online? Who are we giving our most valuable aspect, our time of life to? This may be a perfect time to sit back and reflect on what you're amplifying in life. You may feel called to release or let go of habits or outside circumstances that are time wasters or no longer bring you joy. We have limited time in this beautiful world. Are you making the most of your time? Are you giving your whole heart and soul to those around you? Don't live with regret not doing the thing you've always felt called to do. Life is calling you to connect in and take the risk. Life is calling. Are you listening? So that's just another one of the disconnect to reconnect. So just some really good reminders as we're stepping into our spiritual gifts, our awareness, the things popping up, is taking that time to slow down. Like I said, I'm going to have, I'll put in the comments about the automatic writing, the video there, along with the month of spirit that we're going to be honing in and talking about. And pre-registration is also open to receive a one-on-one call, like a bonus one-on-one 30-minute call with me as we step more into honing in on your connection, how it's been, how you can move forward, along with a group reading. Just a lot of fun things that are coming out that I'm super excited for. And the last thing is in the month of October, I am so excited. I love doing things in person, especially gatherings, and we're going to be doing a retreat in October, and it's going to be all about trusting your intuition and activities, and there's going to be limited spaces available for that, so that's also coming out, that I'll be posting more about that. That's going to be the 20th, I believe, of October. Just trying to find the calendar. But that's going to be honing in and trusting those intuition points too, because it's just happening. It's coming on live. Everything's going on. There's so much shifting going on, and so we might as well all get together and enjoy the shifts and learn to trust our intuition in a deeper and a more powerful, profound way. So check the comments for all of the things and the resources. And I just wanted to thank you for your time. And if you are stepping into these gifts and they're coming online, you're not crazy and you have support and resources. Don't forget to ask.